Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to your pre-event call for PurpleStride Philadelphia. This is our final details call. I know some of the details are not completely final yet, but they're pretty close to final. So hopefully, if we need to make a few small changes still on this call, we definitely can still do that. But hopefully we're pretty close to having things right where we want them for the event, which is in 32 days. So enjoy that little panic attack. The agenda on the screen probably looks familiar if you've been on one of these calls before. It's the exact same agenda as last year. From the top, let's go ahead and just do a quick round of intros. I think everybody kind of knows everybody, but let's go ahead and do them anyway. My name's Erin Pajawski. I am the account manager for PurpleStride on the Event 360 side. I will be in the National Command Center again this year, and I will be there with Hannah, who is having computer issues, so she may not be on this call either. But Hannah, you may see her name in the inbox if you are sending emails. So I will pass it over to Drew, who we can see now.
See and hear. There we go. I am Drew. This is my fourth year with logistics behind the scenes, but actually fifth year, as I was actually part of Jillian's team the first year that we were in this market. Philadelphia happens to be one of my markets, but I get to be honored to go to, or have the privilege for 3 years in a row, go back to St. Louis. That's where I'll be.
Jillian?
Hi guys, Sarah, Marie Lynn, good to see you again. I'm looking forward to Philly. I'm a VP here at Event 360 and Philly lead with y'all, so can't wait.
Kevin or Justin?
I can go. My name's Kevin Yanowski. I've been with PanCan Event 360 now for 5 years. I think this is my fifth event, and then I've been doing events and other stuff before that for quite a while. So yeah, I'm excited. This is my first time in Philly. I've been in other cities before, so I'm excited to be in a new market.
Hey everybody, I'm Justin. This is my first Event 360 event outside of the Susan G. Komen 3-day events. So I'm excited to come back and, support Event 360. And yeah, I'm excited to get the ball rolling.
Great to have you. Chris, you want to kick things off for the PanCan side? Can't hear you.
Okay, how about now?
That's better.
Yeah. I can't hear you though, but okay. I'm Chris Eschman. I work with PanCan. I'm the staff partner year-round with our Philly affiliate, and I will also be the PanCan staff lead at the event this year. And I'd love to hear, Kevin and Justin, like what your roles are on event. We may be getting to that at some point. So yeah, Maria Lynn, you want to take it?
Sure. My name is Maria Lynn. I am the PurpleStride chair. This is my 11th PurpleStride as chair for Philadelphia's PurpleStride. So welcome back, Jillian, and welcome to all the new faces from Event 360. Looking forward to a good event day.
And Sarah.
I'm Sarah. I'm the event experience chair for PurpleStride Philly. I've been doing the walk since like 2017, but I've been in this role. What is this now? Fourth year doing it, 4 or 5 around that. So yeah, I'm excited to work with you guys again. Excited to see you again, Jillian. And yeah, can't believe we're 32 days out already. That's insane. But yeah, I'm excited.
It is truly insane. That is a correct statement. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for taking the time to jump on tonight. We'll try and get through everything in about an hour. This is our biggest PurpleStride event that we have in terms of number of participants. And so lots of moving pieces to get through, but we'll try and get everybody through it. Thankfully, most of you are familiar with what things look like out there. So let me get my screen share up again. All right, just checking in on a few housekeeping items here. The deliverables timeline is still chugging right along. We did our latest round of updates and upload of documents this morning, actually. Does it say? Oh, this is last year's deck. It was this morning that we did the updated documents. So the sitemap, route map, vendor tracker that we are going to go over on this call are the ones that are now in the Philly folder on the shared resource site. So anything that you see on here, if anything looks wonky and you want to look at it in more detail, you can go to the shared resource site and find it there. We're doing all of our reviewing. We can make changes to things still on this call, or if it's something that's a little more involved, Drew will take care of that after the call. And then the documents will be finalized before they go in the event book, which is not on the 18th, it's on the 17th. I opened up the call deck from last year. So all the dates, just push them back one day. The 17th, Friday the 17th is when the event book will be ready. We will post one more version of the full vendor tracker, the IRF, before that, and that comes after the team's deadline. So that's when we'll know exactly how many All-Star MVP Hall of Fame teams we have. Checking in on some of our staff roles and responsibilities. Chris, I'll answer your question here as well. Jillian is our site manager, event lead for the Event 360 side. Kevin, I believe, is the vendor coordinator. And then Justin is our utility or special ops. So all of that said, because this is such a small staff team, they're all kind of doing everything. It's really an all hands kind of scenario. But if you want to really drill it down, Jillian is the site manager, probably will be doing a lot of communicating with the vendors on event. Kevin's going to be reaching out to a lot of the vendors before, just to make sure that they are showing up when they're supposed to be. Justin is just our workhorse that we're just going to send around doing whatever we ask him to do, which he will do with a smile on his face. But really, you can consider all of the Event 360 staff people to be empowered to make decisions, to make adjustments if those are needed. Obviously working closely, Marilyn, with you and Chris on the event if adjustments need to be made on the fly. We're very fortunate in this case that Jillian has been on this event every year. We do move people around as needed, but this is definitely one of the markets where we're like, nope, Jillian is going back. Like, she has got this one down. So
you are stuck with me.
Not stuck. So when we're talking about the event leadership, as I mentioned, these are kind of the buckets that they fall into. So Chris is our PanCan staff person, is the face of the organization, sort of the liaison between the Event 360 side and the PanCan side, helping manage the storage and supply pickups, and taking care of any donations that might come in on event. Legally, our staff may not touch the money at all. So if anybody shows up with checks or cash or anything that they're trying to donate on event, Chris, you and the PanCan folks will handle that. Our E360 staffers, Jillian, Kevin, and Justin, are taking care of all the logistical pieces. So all of the venue and permit management, overseeing the site build, working with the logistics vendors who are coming in, the tents and AV and porta potties and all that fun stuff that we've been lining up. Helping with the signage implementation, of course, taking our very important post-event inventory so we know what signs we don't need to order next year. And then Marilyn, as our PurpleStride chair, you are the glue that sort of holds it all together and brings the participants into this happy little family. So showing lots of love to those top teams and fundraisers, the sponsors that are going to be there, helping manage the other volunteer leaders who are going to be on the event. And Sarah, I know that all these event experience pieces rest a lot on your shoulders too, as you've been getting stuff ready to just make it a tremendous and memorable event for the participants who are going to be there. A few other little peripheral roles that other volunteers might be filling in. I'm not going to go through every one of these, but I know every affiliate's a little bit different. Some have these roles filled, some don't. For some, maybe you're just trying to get somebody just for that weekend to step in and take care of one of these roles. The one I do want to ask about is the course lead. I know we brought this up before. Do you have somebody lined up ready to help with the course setup?
I know Mike. You can go, Maria.
But my dog's gonna, of course, bark now that I came off mute. Has her MO. But yeah, Mike normally does it. But last year we didn't have somebody for Event 360 go out with them to mark the course. I just don't know if it was like an oversight and Sarah and Mike ended up doing it and they were there pretty late on Friday. So is there a way we can ensure that we can get some of it done on Friday with a staff person as well?
We can, but we'll need to pull somebody from your team to help with pipe and drape. Since this is the only, this is one of the events where we have to do all of the pipe and drape, which is fine. We love it. Those two things in the timeline just overlap. If we can get the signage early, and last year I think that huge new delivery took us a little bit longer, Marilyn, than normal. And if our pipe and drape guys are on time, then we can very easily adjust and send somebody out. It's just going to be a matter of timing, but we can totally send someone with Mike. No problem.
And we will have a couple of stagehands there, also Insta workers who are coming to help with the signage install. So that might potentially get that whole process moving a little faster.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure. We make this ask every year, just as you are. I know it's difficult to get volunteers, especially on the weekdays when folks are still working. But as you're getting your event weekend volunteer recruitment going and getting people signed up, these are just a few peripheral roles and asks that we say, if you can get a few extra hands to help with these things, that's super helpful for everybody who's there working the entire load in and load out day. Thursday is really just the storage and supply pickup day. We'll talk more about that when we get to the timeline in a few minutes, but definitely good to have a couple volunteers on hand to help with that. Friday is, as you know, load in, getting the tents up in the morning is the first thing that happens. That takes a few hours, but if by early afternoon on Friday, you're able to get any more helping hands out there to help with the signage, to help with getting the tent set up, everything that goes inside of them, that's also super helpful. And then I know the siren song and the call of going home to your shower in your bed after an event is over. But to the extent that we are able to get a few hands sticking around to help with load out on Saturday after the event, just tearing things down, we will have a couple of Instaworker stagehands there to help with that as well, I believe. But it's, all of the really glamorous things like picking up zip ties from the ground and making sure we leave the site cleaner than we found it. So if you are able to line up a few extra helpers for these items, it's just really great to have. I understand it's a big ask to get people to stick around or outside the hours of the event itself, but these would be the things we would be asking for.
And EDB, the one thing I would add to this is I know Philly is a unique market and most of the PurpleStride events don't have this, so it's not on here, but for event day, planning for a volunteer to help with shuttles, a little shuttle support, and parking. I think those were some of the asks last year because of the way y'all, unfortunately, most places, they're smaller, they have a lot, it's not a big deal. For us, anyone that we can have out at those parking, the one I'm most concerned about is the survivor parking. So those 20 spaces that have a sign, but nobody really turning people away. So if we have a volunteer there, that will free you all and the staff people up to be on site managing anything that comes up. We'll talk on the ground on Friday and just see, but that
on the sign
is always
Genius,
the one.
I added that on the sign up Genius.
Perfect.
Thank you so
parking
much.
And shuttle support. So hopefully it's being circulated. So hopefully we'll have some people
Love that
for it.
Yeah, that was going to be my suggestion. Just bake that into the volunteer plan, make it a shift that someone can sign up for.
Thanks, CDB.
For sure. Speaking of signage, we have been ordering signage. Y'all have been ordering some signage, I believe, coming from a few different sides. As far as I know, all the signage has been ordered now, except for team signage, because the team's deadline is not until April 6th. After that, when we know exactly how many All-Star MVP Hall of Fame teams you have, we will do that last round of signage ordering. Who is receiving the shipments locally? Is that you, Marilyn? Okay. As far as I know, they've started shipping out this kind of on a rolling basis based on when the orders were submitted. So it's possible you've received some stuff already. If you haven't, that's okay. Don't panic. When the signage shipments do arrive, we do just ask that you open them right away, check what's inside, make sure things are spelled correctly, make sure you didn't accidentally get Cleveland's team banners or something like that. The earlier that we catch any mistakes, which of course we don't anticipate, but it happens, the earlier we can catch that stuff and get the reorders in, the better. So please don't wait until Friday load-in day to open your signage for the first time and discover that you don't have grommet holes in any of your banners or anything like that. Let's look at your vendor tracker. So Kevin and Jillian, well, Jillian, you've seen this before already, I think. Our vendor tracker, the IRF, got a facelift this year. We totally revamped it.
Can you zoom just a little bit, EDB? I'm so
sure
sorry
can.
to interrupt.
No, no, that's okay. You never have to
So
apologize
old.
for being blind. Yes. So it is a much more user-friendly, intuitive document than I think the previous format of the IRF was. This is still the summary page that lists out all the vendors, what they're providing, who the contact person is. But then as we get down into the orders and distribution part, it's really broken up by area of the event that you're going to find this stuff at. So rather than having all the tents on one page, you can go to the wide use stride area and see that you get one 10 by 10 tent there and a folding chair and 2 tables. Same with the AV package, food and beverage, the survivor area. It just lists out bit by bit. I'll try and zoom in even a little more so I see everybody going like this to their screen. Lists out area by area. So really you can just take this list and go around as each tent is getting set up and make sure it has the right number of tables that are expected to be there, enough quick covers, the pipe and drape to hang the signage. It's really sort of intended to be geographically friendly for when you're at the event itself. But then also down here at the very bottom, we have this very handy little pivot table that you can sort by vendor type. We will have printed versions of these tables in the event book too, by vendor type. And that tells you this is the total number of pipe and drape horizontal poles that the tent company is bringing, the total number of vertical poles, the total number of 6-foot rectangular tables. So you can hold this, Kevin or Jillian, against the vendor's order and make sure that they've brought everything that we've ordered. So is there anything, we have added the sponsors because we did get the sponsor information. So the sponsors are on here already. As I mentioned, we're waiting on final teams numbers. We'll get those after the deadline on the 6th. But did you have any vendor questions, anything you wanted to check on as far as tent order, tables, chairs?
I don't have anything. I just have to talk about Chris about the vendors. I did book, but nothing for this.
Sounds good. All right, well, I'm going to hand the screen share over to Drew, who's going to take us through the event weekend timeline, as well as the site and route maps and a couple of other things. As you get your screen share up and going, let's talk real quickly about Thursday. This is our staff's travel day. Folks will be coming into town. And also the day where in a perfect world, we are doing all of the storage and supply pickups on this day. I know this is a big undertaking for Philly in particular. We do sort of leave it to the affiliate to manage how the storage and supply pickup is going to go. And then our staff will jump in and help with what's needed, depending on where and when you tell them to go. So have you thought about your storage plan yet? Any idea who's going to be helping with that on Thursday? What you might need from our team? And this may be a Maria Lynn question. This may be a Chris question.
Yeah, so last year, Sarah and Mike went to the storage unit, but they went Friday morning, right, Sarah?
Yeah, and I think Mike said he rented a box truck and he's picking it up Friday evening. So we were gonna meet Friday
Thursday.
morning. Yeah, Thursday evening, sorry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna meet Friday morning at the storage unit and grab all the stuff before we head to the site Friday.
Okay, and that worked out okay last year, timing wise?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they met pretty early, and they were on site well before I think we needed, they got there and they were still doing tents and stuff. So, and this year with not having to do t-shirts is a big saver because I think
Yeah,
we're
that
still going to
makes
get a
a big
lot of
difference.
people, and people love to congregate around those stupid t-shirts and do all that. So now they can just do signage and other things.
There you
and
go.
Mark the course.
Repurposing the volunteers.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. So if you're going to go Friday morning, I think you know this already, but just as early as possible. And as you're loading up the truck with stuff out of the storage unit, if you can get the stage banner as close to the door of the truck as you can, that's something that's got to come out pretty early because the AV vendors will put that up, and they always want it as they're building the truss. So and then the rest of the signage is the next big thing, and then whatever else you need for the tents and the setup.
And the banner for the start finish will be coming from Maria Lynn, probably.
If that was shipped into market, it's a new banner that was ordered.
It's a new size truss. So I suspect.
Oh, that's right.
I suspect.
Okay, yeah,
I was just putting that on her radar.
Yeah, that's part of any signage order that we've done. That's being shipped to Maria Lynn. Yeah.
She dropped off. I don't know.
Oh. Well, hopefully she hops back in. Let's keep plowing ahead.
Keep on going. And I'm going to educate you all real quick so we're all not looking at our screens. It doesn't show up on my screen because I'm sharing my screen, but down where my mouse is, there should say Drew Pratt with a plus minus and a little square box. If you click on the plus, it opens up your screen even more. I didn't know that. I just happened to be playing around when somebody else was sharing, and it was a wonderful thing. Anyhow, so we've got the pickup all taken care of. You'll take care of, sounds like PanCan will take care of that on Friday morning, which is awesome. So that frees Jillian, Kevin, and Justin up for whatever they may need to do on Thursday, aside from just probably getting your eyes on the site and making sure that, not a big gaping hole is formed in the middle of your event village. So then we'll move on to Friday morning. You'll get on site about 7 o'clock, and about 8 o'clock is when your East Coast event rentals will roll in, as well as your Synergy Productions, which is your AV. They will roll in about the same time and start creating your event village for you. You want to get your eyes on the route. It's relatively, it's the same route that we've done before. I will go over a little bit where the marking is. So if either Justin or Kevin are going out with Mike, you'll know which parts you'll mark, because if you mark certain parts on Friday, your signage will not be there on Saturday morning. So Philly likes to take them and put them elsewhere, or just take them home and hang them on their walls. So, they do them. You'll also get a dumpster delivered. And like Erin said, that there will be some Insta workers hands-on from 11 to 4 on Friday. There'll be 2 of them, which I forgot to put that there'll be 2, which will be a great help for hanging signage and other little details that need to be done. And between the hours of 12 and 5 is when the rest of your volunteers will show up, and you'll continue to create the village that we've come to know, and put on an incredible event for Philly. Anywhere between 4 and 5 o'clock, depends on what you all work out, is when your overnight security will show up, and then you'll be able to depart and get some food in your belly and get some rest. But any questions or anything that I'm unaware of for Friday? No?
Nope.
All right. Awesome. You get some rest, food in your belly. Then it's a race. Who's going to get there first? Event 360 or Bruce? Who's going to get there first on Saturday?
Well, not Bruce this year, but Maybe,
No boozing.
maybe I'll beat them.
Okay, so it's still a race. So noted, Jillian. Okay. Um, you'll let security go and you'll put your finishing touches on, go through your punch list of what you need to do between QCing things, putting up the rest of the signage for the route, final preparations, unlock your porta potties because you've zip tied them the day before. Your volunteers will start rolling in. Your site opens up about 6:30. Your police will be present somewhere between 6 and 6:30. Once I have that solid information, I'll be passing that along to Jillian, which usually is about Wednesday or Thursday of the week of the event. And they will do what they need to do to block up the streets to keep everybody safe, aware that there's a walk, run happening. Your walk will start at 8 o'clock. They'll go around some beautiful scenery there. They'll come back around. And the event will conclude at 10 a.m. And then you have until 5 o'clock to take it all down, box it all up, and take it back to storage. And boom, you're magically done.
Chris, as the affiliate staff person, the one thing I will just give you a heads up on, and I know Maria Lynn does a great job with this every year and is in the know, because of the road closures, the start time, they want us to get people out. So plan accordingly when it comes to rehearsing your speakers and knowing who's going to speak and how much time they have. I will hover because, that's what I do. That's what she does. And probably be giving you a little bit of a countdown. But it's only because the police are in my ear. They usually give us like a 5-8 minute grace period, but they will stay on me about that. And I know they just like to get the roads back open. So just making you aware.
Yeah, that's actually came up in a couple of our affiliate meetings. Nick is kind of concerned that we have enough time to honor their survivors. We do have a presenting sponsor, so they are going to speak. So he's a little concerned. Sarah and I talked about possibly starting a little earlier so that we have enough time.
Great, yeah.
Maria Lynn, you and I haven't talked about that yet, but I don't know what you think. I just, rather than have Nick feeling like the ceremony part is rushed, I'd rather just start sooner.
Yeah, your speakers are amazing every year. So.
Yeah. Well, the other part aside from the police, obviously, is because you have the museum that's across the street, and we need to get out of their way so that people can get in to the museum respectfully. So. You've got 45 minutes for the show, so I don't know if you feel you need more, because that's what it is. 7:15 is when you start your opening ceremonies, and 8 o'clock is when the walk starts.
No, that should be plenty. I thought we were 7:30 to 8, so we were talking about bumping to 7:20. So
yeah, no, I changed that 2 years ago because 30 minutes was never enough, and we were always rushing. Perfect. So I pushed it back to 7:15.
Perfect.
Yep.
The pros already have it handled, so I'll just sit back.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Alrighty, we'll move on to the site map.
So, Maria Lynn and Chris, I had sent you an email a couple of weeks ago, maybe, about the question of where the start-finish truss was going to go. I know that you had brought up on our last call a request to move it back out into the street onto that East Memorial Hall Drive, which is the street along the left side of the event village, looking at this map. I had written you back with some logistical concerns we had with doing that. We wouldn't be able to build that truss until event morning because they can't leave it out in the street overnight. So that logistically becomes complicated. There's cars parked on that street, which I think complicates it a little bit too. And so a workaround that Drew and I had discussed and I had put in this email was moving the start finish truss kind of to the back of the event village area where then the walkers can go out and just get right onto which street is that? I always forget the name of it. And so they're kind of avoiding that hard right turn off of East Memorial Hall Drive altogether, which I think slows people down too. So that's this site layout that we have, which Drew has made adjustments to move kind of the tents around. That way they're also not exiting the site right next to the porta potties and, you know, some other stuff that maybe was slightly less than desirable. So definitely want your input on this. We scoped out the sort of street view. I know that when we had the start finish truss kind of where the stage and sound tent are now, when we had it over there before, there was concern because there was a little kind of dip in the grass there that made it difficult. You couldn't set the truss up evenly. The street views that we looked at of this area kind of between these trees was way flatter. And it just, like I said, sort of allows everybody to just feed right out onto that the street where they're going in the right direction, avoid some sharp right-hand turns that they have to do right at the beginning, and should help eliminate that bottleneck. The other thing we're doing is doubling the width of your start truss. So basically it's going to be 2 start trusses right next to each other. So you'll have 40 feet of space that folks can walk under instead of 20 feet of space. There is a center support in the middle of that that will make sure we position some cones and maybe a staff person standing right there too to make sure folks don't walk right into that. But I think having that wider start area will help ease some of the bottleneck issues with the start line as well. So just wanted to get that out there from the beginning. Definitely want your input on this. We kind of got excited about this potential change and like, why didn't we think of this before? So let us know what you think about that. But back to you, Drew. Take us back through what we got on the site map.
Well, for that truss situation, for somebody who wasn't there before, can you show me where it was and then where the proposed new?
It's been in a few different places over the years.
Okay.
So where we had it on the earlier versions of this map is roughly where this volunteer check-in tent is now. Okay. And there was just some concern with them everybody getting out onto this East Memorial Hall Drive, having to make that hard right turn, and then they make another hard right turn up at the top to get onto that other street. And it was a very sort of slow walkout.
Sure.
And so hopefully this will help alleviate that. And Maria Lynn had asked on our January call about moving the truss back out into the street. Mm-hmm. But like I mentioned, there's a couple logistical issues with that. And then it doesn't really eliminate the slowdown that happens with those turns onto the street where it is now, they'll just kind of feed right out and they're going in the right direction anyway.
Okay, so where it is now on the map is where you're proposing that it be.
Correct.
Okay, and if people are coming through from the event village area, you said they won't be walking out right past the portable toilets, but it looks like maybe they would.
There are a few up there. I was looking at like the big bunch of porta johns that's down near the volunteer check-in tent. Okay. And those ones that are up near the top is just kind of a convenience for people who are about to head out onto the route. They don't have to be right there. We can definitely put them someplace where they're not, walking past a bunch of porta potties right on the way out.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I don't like the porta potties, especially next to food and bed. So
yeah,
they gotta go. But I don't know. I mean, I get that we can't have it back out on Avenue of the Republic again, but that where it was is just such a bottleneck and such a pain. But then also we had the t-shirt tent kind of right there too, which was always like a bottleneck. So now that we're eliminating that, I don't know if it would be such an issue to have it where it was. But I mean, I guess I'm not opposed to it right there. What do you think, Sarah? I mean, do you think we should try it? I mean, I feel like we're going to have people miserable either way. So
yeah.
I mean, that's just the reality of it. Somebody's going to complain about something.
Yeah, someone will definitely complain about something. So I think not having the t-shirt tent would probably help the bottleneck, but I feel like if we could always try this year and see how it goes, and then if not, we could always move back to the original. Because I do like, because the end of the walk, you kind of come from right down there, so it kind of like has everyone go right back into the village.
And Sarah, that was the one thing that stuck out to me when they were kind of previewing this with me, is we did have some people abandoning the route early and just coming in this way anyway from a participant flow perspective. And the other thing that I like about having it kind of close to the site is I think the photos will still be good, you know, because people will be kind of walking in and you know, it'll if your photographer captures a site from where they're at, you know, the tents will be right in it. I think it has potential. I'm with you though, like let's give it a try. And, you know, to Maria Lynn's point, like there's goods and bads to whatever we choose.
You're never going to please everybody. I think it's worth giving a try to the new layout, see if maybe it improves the flow even a little bit. And if it doesn't, then we can go back to how we did it before.
As well as you get the extra 20 feet. So there's that. So, okay. So obviously, boots on the ground, you guys will determine where you want some porta potties over here. And then obviously the majority of them will be here and here as Jillian has divided them up in the past. So I will let Jillian or team on the ground dictate where they, you know, where you all want them to go. So, and then I just shifted everything kind of down is what I did to fit and accommodate the truss. I moved the food and beverage closer to the truss instead of over here. That way, because the truss was over this way and food and beverage was over here. So, I mean, I can move it back, but I just thought it would be more convenient. Closer by the truss would be better.
Folks can grab those bananas right when they come back in.
Exactly. Or that water or that granola bar. So.
And the sponsor placements should be, or the number of sponsors is pretty much locked in at this point. The All-Star teams, like I mentioned, we're still waiting on final numbers for those. And, you know, we'll squeeze in if you end up with more than 4 All-Star teams.
Yep. And then all the site rules and all that good fun stuff, all that details at the bottom of the site map here. I had zoomed in so close. So, any other questions about the site map? No? Alrighty. Moving on. We'll move on to some parking.
Actually, do you mind going back? I know there's the parking for survivors, and now I have this premier sponsor that wants parking. And where can you show me where those 20 reserve spots are?
Sure, that's what this is here. So over here where my mouse is the event village.
Okay.
Over here is the East Memorial where we'll barricade it off. And that is for 10 cars. That would be you guys, Event 360. The box cars for for the AV company when they come back first thing in the morning. When he comes back, usually comes back with the box, if not his own car. This is your primary drop-off spot here with the bus. But this right here is for the VIP and survivor parking. And there is a bus stop right there. And there's another bus stop right there. And everybody's just parking on the grass is what they do.
Okay, can you show me where sponsors unload? Is that red box again? Like if sponsors have a bunch of stuff they need to bring to their tents, they would unload there.
Yeah, that's where they would unload here.
Okay. I don't need to park there, right? Like I think staff and volunteers, we kind of talked about that, can come and unload and then like move our vehicles so that we leave more space for sponsors and VIPs.
Yeah, and the other thing we keep in mind about these parking spaces on East Memorial Hall Drive is that because that road will be closed off, if you park there, your vehicle stays there for the entire event. You can't leave early. You can't leave until the street is reopened. So if it's, you know, maybe an amazing VIP, but you know that they always peace out as soon as they're done walking, they're maybe not the right ones to park there.
Okay, right. No, that's very good.
Yeah, as well as the street will be probably, the barricades will be removed about 10 o'clock-ish. So then your street is live. They're out if you're crossing over and going back and forth across the street. So.
Okay.
Yeah. The gift we got the first year is the whole street was completely shut down. That was the one gift we got. So. Does that help you? Any other questions?
I think I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And this parking map has been shared with PanCan to be posted on the PurpleStride website along with the public-facing route map. And this parking map is also in Philadelphia's folder on the shared resource site. So Chris and Maria Lynn, if you want to share this with sponsors and, just send it directly to them, you can find it there.
And I'll show you a quick thing. And Jillian already kind of touched on it, was the shuttle. You got the primary one over here. The second stop, they go all the way around to do their loop. They come back around and they got here 3. What I did was I created a one sheet that will go on one side, a Word document of a punch list. So you basically will need 3 volunteers for the shuttles for this to function the way it needs to, because we got the 3 shuttle stops. And this is just a bullet point of all information between arrival time to where they're boarding to what the streets actually are that they're riding on and doing their continuous loop, what your time frame is for the event that's happening, because now you're not part of the event because you're going to be out at this stop basically the whole time. And who to get in touch with, which would be Jillian, because you won't have any radios.
And Sarah, I wanted this specifically so that I could print extra copies for your volunteer deployment manager check-in person so that they have everything they need right there. I feel like we've communicated in the past, but it's a lot to be thrown in. So I wanted them to have all of the information, and I will print extra copies.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so this will be on one side and the other side will be this.
So we don't really have a dedicated volunteer chair, so I'm kind of doing that a little bit now. So, but I have, like, last year we had 2 volunteers like man the tent. So I think those same 2 are probably going to do it this year. So that'll be good to have a list though. Definitely.
That's great.
Yeah, a good punch list to go, and they can hold on to it. That way they'll have Jillian's phone number, as well as, Sarah, you're working one bus stop and Chris is working the other, exchange phone numbers, and then that way you can communicate with one another. So that's all. Like, hey, the bus is full, or so they're going to have to wait for the next one type of deal. Things like that. So, alrighty. Route map. Okay. So we've got our event village right here. Zoom in a little bit. Come on. And they'll exit out. The light purple is the shorter route. They can go around once. They can go around twice if they like to. It's all sidewalk, all in that area. For the longer route, because you do get a few runners there, they go out, go around, come back, take a left, go out here. They'll go through, there'll be a path that has a gate, and you'll walk through that. Another big gate, and then you're into the park that's back here, the gardens. Your water stop. Come all the way around, pop out, go around another loop, walk through that big, beautiful arch, and then come back into the event village is what you'll do. For those who will be marking the route, basically when you get into the park, the Fairmont Park Center here, when you go into that gate, that is the only place that I would suggest that you mark from like here to possibly about here.
On Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah.
Everything
You'll
else
mark
will
the
be
whole
on
thing.
Friday.
Right.
Yeah, Friday you can put signage in that gated area because it'll be protected overnight.
Right. And when you're marking on Saturday, something here, here, here. The police will be guiding everybody anyways. The rule of thumb would always be if they have a choice to go right or left, give them something. But again, you're going to have police support. But you also want to give them here in case they happen to be those stragglers after the police have now moved around to go to somewhere else, just so that they know where they're going. Because you always think you're behind the last person and you're really not. So, and then this loop right here is all you'd have to mark coming back in. But yeah, just this back area on Friday, which shouldn't take too long. So, okay.
Any special circs we need to share?
No, everything's been pretty much the same. You got your Insta workers, stagehands, Friday 11 to 4, Saturday 9 to 2. Staking is allowed. No taking your box truck on there, but I know that the tent company has a special apparatus that they use to drive onto the grass. That is allowed. What else? You got your police support. We'll pass along that information. And you'll probably have a health food inspection usually like that. It happens on Saturday morning about 6:30 because that's how Philadelphia rolls. So, yeah. Other than that, there is not a whole lot to add on to that.
I have two things for the team on the ground, if that's okay.
Yep.
One, Sarah or Maria Lynn, whoever is communicating with our amazing DJ, if you could remind him to bring a vehicle without a trailer, that would be super helpful. He's, I understand things come up, but with the parking on that one road, just having a normal size vehicle would be preferable. And then if you could clue how much food and bev donations will you have? And the question is stemming from, I would love to, if it's pallets again, we're gonna do a stop for some tarp so we can tarp it overnight. The one old lady security guard is like a stickler, and she's like, we wrapped the heck out of it last year. Like nobody could see anything. But I think if it's, if it's gonna be pallets again, we'll probably just get some tarps to make that a little easier, if that's okay.
For food and beverage, I know we have one pallet from a Tasty Cake.
Okay.
So there'll definitely be one pallet. But the Philadelphia, I'm getting like pretzels from Wawa. Those are all like individually wrapped. They don't usually come on pallets. And then same with like the Hirsch chips. That's just all in boxes.
Perfect.
So I think the only pallet, and then we have water from BJ's, but we usually unload that like right from
on Friday
from the truck anyway on Friday. So I think it'll just be the one Tasty Cake pallet that is on a pallet.
And then will we do bananas as well from BJ's?
Yeah, we're gonna have from BJ's, it'll be bananas, like the clementines, and then like fruit snacks and things.
Perfect. I will just grab a few pallets or tarps, because then anything we have on the tables we can just hide.
Yeah, that's perfect, because we usually like stack it all up on the tables, and we could just kind of, it's a lot of box stuff besides the Tasty Cake pallet, so we should just like a couple tarps, I think should be good, and we'll kind of have it all set up under the tarps.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
What other questions? Maria Lynn, Sarah, Chris?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think you guys have this down to a science. So, I plan to come and like put my feet up and eat some chocolates.
That's cute, Chris. That's really cute that you think you're going to put your feet up at any point.
I know better than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I also love how like 5 years of perfecting through trial and error makes it a science now. That's a nice evolution. No, I do. I think that this one's pretty dialed in. I'll be very curious to hear how the new trust placement goes, to see if that makes a big difference, and more trial and error. This is how we find out. So event books on April 17th, keep an eye out for those. I think I mentioned already, there will be digital and print versions. Jillian, as the event lead, will print one full hard copy of the event book that everyone can refer to, but it's always nice to have that saved or easily accessible, the digital versions on your phones as well. You can continue to reach us if there's anything you need at volunteers@event360.com. Hannah and I will be managing that inbox right up until the event, and then even while we're on the event and sitting in command. But starting on Thursday, the travel day, you can also reach command by phone or text. So are you raising your hand, Jillian, or
me?
Raising the roof?
Both. I have one question that came up. So we're going to have a double wide truss. And assuming that we have a double wide banner, then or do I need to confer with our group for the trust?
I do. I do think that we are responsible for ordering all the start finish banners.
Okay.
So that's something that we're taking care of ordering. Am I wrong about that, Jillian?
I believe we're ordering it, and I believe that it is two 20-foot banners that both say start finish on both sides, because there will be that middle bar, Chris.
Right.
And so it'll be two 20-foot banners, if I remember correctly what Jake said.
That sounds
yes,
right.
That's in our part.
Yeah, I don't think they actually make a 40-foot
and
banner.
then whatever whatever the middle looks like is that something we can, put purple streamer around?
100%. Do it. Wrap it up. Make it. Zhuzh it up. It's one side of the truss, so it's kind of that scaffold looking triangular structure. And
your team always does a great job with mission signage too, the coroplast with the really great sayings, and so we can always put some as people are walking out and in if you guys want. We can figure that out.
Okay. Cool.
All right, if there's nothing else, then Chris, Sarah, and Maria Lynn, we will cut you loose and ask the Event 360 folks to stay on for just a minute. Lovely to see you as always. Really excited to see how this one goes this year. Definitely let us know if there's anything else you need, and we'll be in touch if there's anything we need from you in the next 32 days.
I know, Jillian, I'll see you in 31 days.
Have fun, you guys. Can't wait.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.